Sweeney. So get out of the way, so I'll break your legs.
Hi, I'm Ollie Hayes and you're watching The Fan Carpet. We are here in Leicester Square for the European premiere of The Sweeney. We'll be chatting to some of the stars, including Ray Winstone and rapper Plan B, as well as director Nick Love. Let's take a look.
I think it's a very contemporary, London set crime film, which I think it's very of its time, which is now. And I think that, yeah, that's what hopefully people will have a really good entertaining time watching some great action sequences with some with a really top-line cast. There's a really amazing bunch of people in this. Obviously, Ray and Ben are brilliant, but there's Hayley Atwell, Damian Lewis, Alan Ford, some really, really great actors, which will hopefully, I haven't seen it yet. I'm really excited to see it, but I think it's, it should bring a really contemporary spin on the Sweeney. I know I loved making it. I adored it. So I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
And can you just give us a little bit of information about your character and what will you bring to the table in the Sweeney?
Okay. Well, my character is possibly maybe not the most popular guy around. He's Ivan Lewis, who is he's internal affairs basically. So he's quite an office-based character, probably maybe a little bit frustrated about that. He'd like to have a fast car and a gun, but he's never really had he's not really that guy. So he's there to kind of keep an eye on the Sweeney and to keep them in line, really.
The problem is the methods, tactics you employ. The problem is the collateral damage that's left in your wake.
So we still do the things that you can only dream of.
So Nick, 2012, a lot has changed since the 70s.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about the decision to sort of update these characters and what audiences can expect? Will the fans kind of see anything familiar from the TV series?
Oh, it's got a lot of the spirit of the original, I think. The sort of the swagger and the way that they kind of are pretty lawless, the old Bill. And but yet you can't. Warhammer. But yet you can't. I'm not interested in. I wouldn't be interested in making a film in the 70s. It just doesn't do anything for me. So I always thought that I would like to make an action movie, that feels fresh and contemporary and very, very modern.
Okay. I know you're a dab hand at the sort of tough as nails, hard man movie now. What sets this apart from those other films like The Firm?
Well, it's a lot bigger, I think, and a lot more mature. I think my other films, and listen, I'm growing up. I am 42, and I think. It's got a bigger story than my other films. My other films have all been little slices of life, and it's got a bigger story, and so therefore, it's it just feels more of a plot-driven film rather than a character film.
And Ray and Ben, obviously, it seems like a bit of a no-brainer. What a dream team! Were they did you always have them in mind?
Well, Ray was involved 6 years ago with me, and Ben came along. Ben came along about 6 months before we started filming, and then once that we locked Ben down, we were away. It felt like you say, it felt like a perfect sort of combo, those two.
And obviously, kind of the idea of sort of British cops taking law into their own hands. It's a concept we're more used to seeing in American films, almost like Lethal Weapon, Dirty Harry.
I'm an ashamed American film fan. I got to say.
Well, that's okay.
Listen, I like English films, but I prefer American films. That's the bottom line. And so, I'm a massive fan like Michael Mann and Scorsese and all that sort of stuff. If you like those people, they're the people you're going to try and emulate, ultimately.
I think you've got the wrong man.
The ramifications of your careless actions are going to have severe repercussions, Regan.
So, right, it's 2012, the last outing for Jack Regan was for 78. What can we tell what are we going to see with this new Regan? Is it something completely different for audiences?
Yeah, well, it's me playing it and not John Thaw. John Thaw, I thought long and hard about it, because it worried me for a time. I had great respect for John Thaw and worked with him, lucky enough to have worked with him a few times. But, I can't be John Thaw. I can't do what he'd done. He was tremendous. So we had to bring a new thing to it, and it helps the film because the Sweeney was groundbreaking. It was a groundbreaking TV show, which actually changed British TV. And so we had to be groundbreaking. We had to make it different. The only thing that's the same is, I guess, it's two guys being policemen, and it's called The Sweeney. Yeah.
And is there a moment for you in the film where you felt like, I am Jack Regan? A moment in the film, a scene where you felt you embodied that character, you nailed Jack Regan? A line or a scene?
You get that from the beginning, but I mean, I don't know, what am I going to say? Yes, I'm Jack.
Particular line, a line, maybe a dialogue? Maybe?
I guess it was, get your trousers on, son, you're nicked. But really, I wasn't Jack Regan. I wasn't John Thaw playing Jack Regan. I was me playing Jack Regan, you know. And so you do embody every part you play, but you don't necessarily take that home with you, you know.
Put your trousers on your knees.
Well, she's this kind of the sassy woman who's part of the flying squad. She can give just as good as she gets, and she's, she can take on the boys. But she's also having an affair with Regan, Ray's character. So there's a bit of a love triangle in there. Yeah.
You are starring across some great talent, Ray and Ben, obviously. Now, they seem like quite intimidating men in real life. Off camera, are they just as scary? What are they like? They seem a little bit threatening.
Pussycats. Yes, of course they are. Of course they are. So what are you talking about intimidating? Not at all. No. Yeah, they are on first. Well, you meet anyone for the first time, it's very scary. But when you get to know them, if they are genuinely good people, then you can find, you just find a common ground with them. And Ray's, he's this good man. What you see is what you get. He's very honest. He knows who he is, what his values are, and he brings a lot of that to the film. And he brought a lot of that onto the table on this film, yeah.
And obviously it's a very physical film, action-packed, all the bells and whistles. Is there a sort of standout scene for you that you enjoyed filming the most? One of them?
Yeah, Trafalgar Square was great. We had 2 hours blocked out so we could film that sequence, and we had to rehearse it before we went, so we knew exactly what we were going to do on the day. And once they shut down Trafalgar Square, we had just that window of opportunity to do it. So it was the thrill of doing that in short space of time, and all the pressure was really, it was great fun.
When we talk about the difference between the 70s version and this version, I think it's a lot more relevant to today, my generation. Myself and a lot of my friends grew up in dysfunctional families where we didn't have father figures. We didn't have dads there. And I think because of the age gap between me and Ray, we thought it was more natural. The relationship we have is more like a father and son. We're not related, and we are work colleagues, and we are friends in the film. But I think it's more like a father and son kind of relationship, and I think that's the difference between the 70s version. The 70s version, they were pals, they were mates.
Can I just ask how it's helped you evolve as an actor working with Ray Winstone?
Yeah, I've learned that sometimes when you feel a scene, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing it right. Actually, in life, we try and hide our emotions from people because we're embarrassed or we're shy. So when we get emotional, we act like we're not upset. So actually we hold a lot more in, and it's all about the eyes. And there were some scenes we've done, and I was really feeling them. And then when Nick would go, "Ben, you're doing a bit too much here," and he'd show me the monitor, and I'd be so embarrassed, Go back, do it again, but this time I'd do the opposite of what I'd done before. So if I was feeling the scene before, the next time I'd done it, I wasn't feeling it at all. And that was really difficult, because then I had to keep on doing the scene, and I just wasn't feeling it. But Nick loved it, and it seemed to be right for the scene.
There is one piece of undeniable evidence you're overlooking.
Get it quickly, Regan. Tell them we're coming after them. We're coming after all of them.